The views expressed on this Turnbuckle Tabloid live stream or Turnbuckle Tabloid podcast episode do not reflect the views, thoughts, or opinions of the Rageworks brand, including the Rageworks podcast network, Rageworks content partners, advertisers, and affiliates. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Hey, yo, this is the nicheless content creator, D. Janai, and you are listening to Turnbuckle Radio.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
So, right now, as of this recording, I am in the middle of watching an intense game of football. As many of you guys know, I am a huge sports guy, and football is my thing, especially with the New York Giants. So, as right now, we're in halftime, and when I go into the next segment, I am either going to be a happy little clam, or I am going to be a miserable mule. So let's go Giants. Yeah, it's that time of season, ladies. Get them into playoff time. I have to have something because my fantasy football season was atrocious. My money league for work, I was dominating. I had a substantial lead on the league in the crowd. I was in first for many occasions, and then 1 or 2 injuries, you go on a 5 or 6 game losing streak, bro. It just fucking happens. Turnbuckle Tabloid League, I was just out of it. I had nothing. It was atrocious. Mind you, this year I was in 1, 2, 3. How many leagues were I in? 5, I think it was. Shit. Oh my Lord. And every year I sit there and I say, yeah, I really got to stop doing this. And whoops, guess who's back again? Getting agita and fucking raising up the BP medications. But so, yeah, NFL is in the playoff mode, and I'm like a pig in shit, just rolling and loving every minute of it. I'm recording this during halftime, so if it sound a little bit rushed, it's because I'm trying to get back to the game. So, but other than that, welcome everybody to another episode of Turnbuckle Tabloid. I'm your host, Mr. Ear to the Mat, the King of Talk Style, and as always, the cheap thrill, Jay the Red Santy. Just make sure you check us out on all the social media outlets. Check us out on the like and group page on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram at Turnbuckle Tab, on Twitter at Turnbuckle Tab, and as well as on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch at Turnbuckle Tabloid. Also, you always check us out on all the podcasting outlets, the iHearts, the Spotify, the Google Podcasts. Download, subscribe, be a part of the vibe, stream it, beam it, however you see it here at Turnbuckle Tabloid. If not, you could always check out the family at RageWorksNetwork.com is where you get all the Rageworks family at RageWorksNetwork.com. Black is the new black, toys and techs, Trek Untold, much, much more. Check out the family at RageWorksNetwork.com. And as always, check out news, previews, reviews, contests, all things available in the world of pop culture at our family at RageWorks.net. That's RageWorks.net for all your hobby collectibles, movies, TV shows, toys, video games, whatever it is that you guys are into. We're covering it at RageWorks.net. RageWorks.net, everybody. We do it for the culture, baby. Pop culture, this we are. Pop culture, that is. So this week, gonna change up the format just a little bit. This is probably the first time we actually break up the format differently because it's been a slow news week, so I'm trying to put together a little bit more articles and not just leave it one flat commentary, because of course the WWE stuff is still in the air. There's some still some rumors, some backstories happening, possibilities. So I'm just going to leave it up to another couple of hours to see what else, what other articles have come out. But I'm going to lead in this week with Around the Square Circle, much to talk about from there. It's been a quiet week besides the WWE stuff in wrestling this past week. So this is one of those episodes in which I say that it's good to do because it's brisk. Excuse me, brisk. You hear me? It's brisk. It's to the point, and it's not long-winded, but at the same time, it's like, shit, it's not enough content this week. And I'm just like, I almost got to dance and, do some freestyle, on a beat or some shit. Like, so I don't know. I got to drop more content for the show, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. But yeah, this is a collective week. There's some discussions going on as well. Who potential buyers will be, and yeah, we'll get into it later because it's just silliness. And at the end of the day, you just like just get it over with, just fucking get it over with. So we'll get to that. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys are enjoying your new year. I hope the new year has been doing well for you. I hope that has been bringing you prosperity and goal orientation and a sense of fulfillment and. It's another day, right? Just another fucking day. Guys, when we come back, we have, like I said, Around the Square Circle and much to talk about. So don't go anywhere. Stick around. You guys don't want to miss it. Check you guys in a sec. If you're looking into getting something special for that, love of your life, significant other, someone that you find near and dear in your heart, check out the fam at Painted in Blue. Painted in Blue has customizable pocketbooks, handbags, wallets, all your accessory needs at Painted in Blue. Painted in Blue is a genuine article brought to you by the family himself, Josie's boy. I've actually bought one. They don't give it to me. I pay for it. Even though we're family, I pay for it, and I made sure that special someone in my life got a quality, authentic piece of accessory for them. It was a clutch, actually, and it was designed just for that person's needs. Josie's boys made sure that he gets the article, the genuine leather that's necessary to stand strong and stand tough. Painted in Blue can be reached through Instagram, Facebook. Check out the social media so you can see the man at work as well as what is the quintessential part of leather refinery and putting together and crafting beautiful works of art, as well as accessories that you could use on a day-to-day basis. Painted in Blue, guys, at Painted in Blue, and on TikTok at Painted in Blue. Check the boy out, man. He does good shit.
This is Jim Russell from Choked Out Radio, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Turnbuckle Tabloid presents Around the Square Circle. What we watch, what we listen to, what we're a part of this week's wrestling. Around the Square Circle. Around the Square Circle, we're going to go into it this week out of format. And as a matter of fact, if I like it, I might keep it this way. Might want to keep the format this way. Going in to keep the main event. I always found it funny that we used to start off Wrestling Rundown as the main event, but it was always the middle of the show. I don't know how or why it was that way, but that was pretty much how we set it up that way. But around the square circle, ladies and gentlemen, this week, like I said, not really much to talk about for what we listen to, because many of the podcasts that I do listen to were pretty much talking about the same thing, about the WWE and the purchasing or possible purchasing of the WWE product and Vince coming back and yada, 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 and blase, blase, yeah, whatever. Which, by the way, I'll be talking about a little bit more during Wrestling Rundown in any case, but that's what we had. Cornette had his thoughts about it, about the Saudi deal. It's funny that we pretty much had like the same kind of mindset with it. Brian Last also believed the same kind of thought of who would be the best possible prospector buyer for WWE. Kevin Nash talked about it a little bit this week, but he was more in tune with talking about sports, seeing as that the NFL playoffs were starting, and he discussed the Damar Hamlin situation and tied it into the way that they were trying to resuscitate his son before his untimely passing. Anything else? Wasn't really anything. I was kind of bored this week when it came to wrestling stuff. The like I said, the WWE thing kind of burnt me out. I'm trying to find other things to get into, man. I recently started listening to like comic book audiobooks. Right now I'm listening to on YouTube. They have this fascinating audiobook of Secret Wars. And it's very dramatic and theatrical the way that they do it. It's pretty cool. Just search it, it'll come up. But other than that, anything watch, listen to, no, I am good. But yeah, we'll get into WWE Raw this week, and with Raw, with opening of the show, guys, like I mentioned before, I'm not gonna really go into match by match because that just takes too long. It's boring, and I start getting burnt out on it after a while as well, because you start, many times it just becomes repetitious, and I'm not really feeling, not that this product has been bad. I mean, believe me, we've seen our fucking lowest of the lows when it's come to WWE and AEW and the likes and such. Oh, by the way, before I go into that, saw some snippets. I didn't get to watch Hard to Kill this week. I'll be able to watch it. That's Impact show. I'll give you guys some thoughts about it on the next episode. But I saw some snippets of Hard to Kill. Impact actually puts together great pay-per-views. It's just the weekly shows that just are just bland. We get just filler, but the big stuff happens at the pay-per-views. So from what I saw of the pay-per-view, like the clips and the highlights, I was very intrigued that I said I was going to make it a thing to put that on my schedule to watch it this week as well. So and also first event that we went to this week for the new year, Outlaw Wrestling was in the neighborhood. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to Bull James, of course, Homicide. Shout out to Homicide, friend of the show. Hopefully I could get him on the show in the next week or so. He once again becomes the Outlaw Wrestling champion over there. Great show. Shout out to my chulo himself, my boy Good Dad Angel, who came by and was chopping it up with us. We had a good time. Shout out to my boy Rob, who's making a big move, leaving the state and having a big thing going on with him and his family, where they're spreading their wings and planting their New York feet on outer state surfaces and soil. So congratulations to them on their big move. But other than that, if you're ever in the New York City area, check out the Outlaw Wrestling. It's actually a really fun time. Gonna be swinging to the Catalyst this upcoming week. weekend, excuse me, gonna check out Catalyst this upcoming Sunday. It'll be the first time I'm at a Catalyst show, so I'll let you guys know how that turns out. And other than that, we'll go into WWE Raw. Raw opened up with Kevin Owens. I'm happy to see that Owens is getting more shine than he had been receiving the past couple of years, and to see Owens open up the show and basically not say anything, because of course we get JBL and Baron Corbin to intervene. I don't know how this happened, but in any case, solid match. The funniest part was when Baron Corbin is talking or JBL is talking, you see Kevin Owens just lay his head on the fucking turnbuckle, and that was pretty much what everybody was feeling like this past week with WWE and such, hearing the news and Vince and all this and rah shit. So other than that, solid match. There was a spot in the match where Owens did the Samoa Joe, and Joe basically no-sells someone's high-flying move and he just moves away and shit. Kevin Owens had a move like that. It was pretty funny to see. We get Alexa Bliss cut a promo. She makes mentions of being, I guess, Eater of the Worlds and putting the whole world in her hand, yada, yada, yada. And then we get Uncle Howdy come out. Am I getting tired of this? I think I'm getting tired of this. I know there's they say there's a long payoff to this. Well, Royal Rumble can't get here soon enough. Seriously. And it better be something ridiculously major. It's better be something that is going to floor us, because I'm assuming, okay, here's what my thoughts is going to be. My thought is going to be that Uncle Howdy is going to be different individuals of Bray Wyatt's quote unquote personality or part of his faction. I say this because for him being Uncle Howdy popping up on both shows, I'm going to say that it's more of them entertaining. Like Alexa Bliss will be his feminine side, kind of. If one of them is Bo Dallas will be his family side, that kind of thing. And each time they'll reveal themselves as Uncle Howdy, another Uncle Howdy will come out. So it's going to be like confusing, where people will be like, what's going on? Until his stable is created, where all the Uncle Howdies will be revealed to be part of his stable, because they're all part of his personality. That's just my thing. I take it. If that does come to fruition, then me and Bray Bray and I have a sick fucking mind. Seth Rollins makes a return with crutches during a Austin Theory segment. And then realize that Seth isn't as hurt as we presumed, thankfully. Great selling by Rollins and social media by putting that out. But he did say he's not 100%, but he will be 100% by Royal Rumble, basically saying that he's tweaked himself, but that'll be okay. And at the same time, we get a return of Bobby Lashley, which I'm hoping this Bobby Lashley will be the Hurt Business Bobby Lashley showing up soon enough, because we're already getting teasers. I believe we saw this past weekend of Cedric Alexander and Shelton. That was during the tag team turmoil, which we'll talk about in a minute. After the opening segment in which Kevin Owens beat Baron Corbin, we had a run-in by the Bloodline, who were asked to leave by the authority figure himself, Adam Pearce, but was told that Solo Sikoa cannot leave because he will be put in a match against Dolph Ziggler. Basically, the Usos and Sammy had to leave, and
Solo got to be by, but Solo had to be Solo. Hence the name, right? We then get a, which by the way was a good match, Solo and Ziggler. Ziggler not only could sell for a motherfucker, but Ziggler could also put a lot of credence and storytelling in his matches. It's a good look for him. But we also get a teaser of a possibility that Dolph Ziggler and Mustafa Ali will be joining up as a tag team, which can be pretty interesting. I'm anxious to see that, which this is where we start getting individuals who will go, I forgot to address this earlier. So people were hearing that Vince comes back, and all of a sudden they're already, he's already going to be bogarting the creative. Triple H has spoken to the roster and the board or the staff, or the case may be, and said that he will still be the head of creative as of now. There is no indications that will change, but who knows? But also that Vince will be leading his way for suggestions. That's how it starts, ladies and gentlemen. But the buck stops with Triple H. Like I said last episode, man, just once this company's sold, sell your stocks and get the fuck out. Because he's gonna be he's gonna be relentless, guys. With that, there were people on social media. Some of you guys are actually funny when the memes that you made. I remember seeing the meme with Iron Sheik and shit. That was pretty funny. AJ, this is what happens when you have a dog who walks on hardwood floors. You can hear everything in the background. Yeah, the memes were crazy. There was a picture of Iron Sheik sitting on the throne. There was one with Hulk Hogan dressed in green and white. But then there's a couple of you guys who just, you're already talking about, this show has the smell of Vince creative all over it. Guys, just shush for a minute. Just shush. The old fucker, the old codger just came back. Relax. Give it a tick. Once we start seeing the squiggly lines, like in the cartoons, to show that something stinks, rise from the TV, that's when you know it's Vince. Let's be real. But as for this past week, I didn't see that. We then get the tag team turmoil for the number one contenders for the Raw tag team champions. Raw tag team champions, meaning there's something coming up the way. I knew the split will be coming soon enough. And I'm glad that it's happening. It's good to happen. And I believe they mentioned that Kevin Owens did mention that he's going for the undisputed title, but there was mention that it's for the Raw United States Universal title. So we shall see. We then get the tag team turmoil, like I mentioned. Fun matches all around. I enjoy the Judgment Day versus Street Profits. Who opened it? Judgment Day versus OC. Judgment Day versus it was Shelton and Cedric, right? Then we get Judgment Day versus Street Profits, and during that match we get an injury from Finn Balor, in which Dominic had to replace Finn. Great storytelling there. Thought it was silly, just in just a small part, to say, well, if he got injured, then it's over. But seeing as though that they are a faction, you can replace them. If it was different to where that if Montez got that injured, then the match would be over. It's not, you can't get anybody else from the back to be a part of it. But it's wrestling, right? Dominic replaces, and your winners of the tag team turmoil and the number one contenders for the Raw tag team titles is Judgment Day. Good. It's a good look. It's a good look. I'm hoping that they are able to take the titles off the Usos. I think the tag team landscape is now deep as shit, and it might get deeper now, like I mentioned with the Dolph Ziggler and Mustafa Ali edition. So this can be a fun division now once again, because we knew that Vince hated tag teams. So let's bring it back to prominence. And Raw wasn't bad. It was just lukewarm, if you want to say. But next up, you'll get an AEW Dynamite, which kicking off the show, we have Moxley versus Hangman Page, and I gotta say, it was a really good match. I can't knock it. Hard hitting. You get the sense that these two men really don't like each other, which is supposed to be what wrestling is about. You want to get that essence that these dudes don't like each other. But I thought towards the end of the match, it was a little bit spotty, but I've also come to share with not only the listeners, but people who talk wrestling with me, is that not all fights should look choreographed. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be in a fight and every punch is going to land clearly, or every hold is going to be done properly. Some of the best matches back in the days were done where it looked like you were in a brawl. So I'm going to say that like towards the end of this match, you could tell that these guys were brawling, and hey, I'm more with the shits, more that kind of look for wrestling, especially with Moxley. Makes a lot of sense for me. And Moxley looks as though that he was had his bell rung, and it looks like he'll finally get his vacation from working 2 shows a fucking week, I guess. I don't know. Which, by the way, shout out to FTR, apparently, that they'll be on a sabbatical as well until April, which, by the way, isn't that when their contract is up? Isn't that when WrestleMania happens? I wonder if I have to check if that's the beginning of April or the ending of April, because I don't think AEW stars, wrestlers, talent has any clauses on their contract. So, which means that after their contract is up, that they have to sit out for 30, 60, or 90 days. So that's interesting. Maybe return on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. We'll see. Adam Cole returns. Speaking of returning, Adam Cole returns to AEW after a 6-month injury. He last seen in August, and it was good to see him back. He explained how he got his bell rung. It's been tough for him to sleep at night. His mind is not the same place, and he was going to say, he was leading to say that I have some bad news, and it's not about me. It's about the roster in the back, because blah, blah, blah. I'm going to come back and I'm going to fuck everybody up, whatever the hell he said. So it's good to see he got a nice baby face pop there. I thought it was great for the LA crowd to get that return, because they weren't going to get anything else that night. We didn't get a Jungle Hook squaring up against the Firm, Lee Moriarty and Big Bill. It's not like I don't like Hook. I do like Hook. I like Hook a lot. I think the kid got something. I think that there's some intrigue with him, and I can get that, that if you continue to book him the way you do, he is going to get far in this business. If he continues with the look, if continues with the persona, and his work actually is reminiscent of his dad. He's like Taz. But you're really gonna have to sell me a lot to believe that he could fucking flip Big Bill like that. I'm just saying. Like I said, I like the kid, but it should have been more of a build up for it. You know, like have a match or two to tease it. You have to find, like, you could have got him on a dragon screw or something like that to get him off his feet and get him out the ring or something, or one of those moments where he's coming for the big boot and he ducks and then he could go over the top. Then you could finish the match with Lee Moriarty, blah, blah, blah. You know, that kind of thing. But to put him over, I don't know. It was a little bit rushed, dog. It was a little bit rushed for me, dog. Before we get to the Danielson and Takeshita match, we get an MJF promo who wasn't afraid to balance the lines of humor and racism at the same time. Shout out to the celebrities that were on ringside, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Dr. Ken, who are big wrestling fans. Of course, Freddie Prinze is looking to start his own promotion, and Big Ken has been a fan for years. So it was a promo time for MJF, and then we get Bryan Danielson coming to the ring, and MJF running out like a track star. And as for the match with Danielson and Takeshita, I thought it was a really good match, but for me, it just went too long. You guys gave them fucking 20 minutes, and I don't think it should have went through 2 commercials. You don't have to put the kid over by having a 20-minute fucking match. You could put the kid over in a 10-minute, 12-minute match. It's fine. It's not necessary to show that he has stamina or work rate. We're good. We know it. We've seen him. Just give him a good match with Danielson. He'll be all right. We then get the women's tag match between Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Saraya, and no Mercedes Moné, right? Yeah. And Toni Storm. Not a bad match. I can't really bust the women's balls for it. The finish was predictable with Hikaru Shida coming out and the kendo stick coming into play. It was predictable. We saw that coming. We'll lead up some heat between Toni Storm and Hikaru Shida later on down the line. We'll see that happening. I am still saying that they're going to save the Mercedes Moné debut on AEW. Stories have circulating that she's not signing a contract, that she'll be working as an independent on AEW. And if that is true, there's also stories swirling around that she might be back in WWE. I don't know about that. Even still, if she does come into AEW, I'm still going with the fact that she's going to come in as the woman that's going to defeat Jade Cargill either before 50 at 49 or at 51. To have a 49-1 or 50-1, one of those two. So we shall see. I still believe that she's going to be coming in with Bow Wow. I just crossing fingers. We get the Jericho Appreciation Society promo, which was interrupted by Ricky Starks and Action Andretti, which Starks is, he's always going to be, he's going to be good money on the mic. Like, he's legit. Action wasn't that bad. I actually thought that he, had something to say. Wasn't too bad. Thought the banter was a little bit off-putting. Like, I don't think anybody really knew what each other were going to say. But I'll tell you one thing, Jake Hager, he's the new Sid Vicious. He has, he's just ridiculous. He's the new Sid. Which will lead up to a match with Starks and Vicious, aka Jake Hager, for next week's Dynamite. So we shall see for that. And finally, we get the final match of the Trios Championship with Death Triangle and the Elite. And I'm going to say that was a fun match. What were you going to expect? I give credit where credit is due with Omega in this match, because having to do what he did and endure what he did in Japan and then come over and get into a match like this a week later was exceptional. Everything was as you would expect in a video game, but to me, I thought it was fun, and it wasn't long. It wasn't dragged out for too long. There were some spots there that I was like, I wouldn't have done that. There was the spot that Nick Jackson took off the top rope, and I believe he sentoned and fucking caught the ladder with his legs. I really would have thought that he broke or tore his ACLs or MCLs or some shit. That wasn't a good spot. But other than that, you have new champs with the Elite, who are 2-time Trios champs, and honestly, like I said, it was a fun match. It's not anything that I wouldn't have suspect, like I would have thought any less of. I thought it was fun that they tried to tease hurting Kenny Omega's hand, especially with using the sledgehammer, but you got to work it a little bit more. Oh, they also used the ladder for it too. That was kind of cool. But Kenny would have had to fucking grab the belt with nubs, because I wouldn't have allowed him to get away with that shit. Just sell it fucking injury, dogs. Other than that, I'll just quickly go into Rampage, because the biggest thing that everybody's talking about is the Ruby Soho. Who the fuck was her partner? I know it was Ty Conti and Anna Jay versus Ruby Soho and I forgot who the fuck it was. Any case, they were so thirsty to share this match. Excuse me. They were so thirsty to share this match that it was out that fucking Thursday, like showing videos of it. And it wasn't fan videos. It was them. It was AEW showing it. Why, man? Oh, Willow Nightingale. Willow was, oh man, I'm mad that I forgot that Willow was in that match. I'm not going to take anything away from the women. Here's my problem. Why don't you, I don't know, show off the women that they know what they're doing, that they know how to wrestle? Why don't you show that they have skills in the ring, that they could put on a match? Why is it that it has to be that they bleed and all of a sudden that it's a great fucking match? They bleed once a month also. Like I don't see anybody fucking praising that. God, that sounded misogynistic. Oh well. So no, but seriously, I honestly believe that the four of these women can wrestle. They have shown that they can wrestle. And for this match, okay, you want to have them in the lights out death match kind of thing. All right. Women are always screaming for equality. Whatever the man can do, I can do as well. Why don't you excel beyond that? Why don't you prove to them that you can wrestle this, matches like them, but better, but don't have to go for the cheap pop blood match? I already saw people drawing equations to Ruby and Becky Lynch. Becky's bleeding was accidental from maybe not accidental, maybe more of a stiff shot. And that elevated her to the level at which she became the man. Whereas with this was pre-planned, premeditated. Some may even say that, someone even said that the blood looked fake. Like, I remember someone making a mention like, oh, they smeared fucking tomato sauce on them, especially Ty Mello's look. But even so, why won't you just elevate yourself and become better than just using, cheap gimmick bullshit to get your fucking bullshit 5-star ratings that you want to get because you bled? Who cares? There are matches that go out there that it doesn't need. Go out there and if you want, go out there and pull off a fucking. If you want to put a bar up to it, and the bar would be, let's say, Omega and Ospreay, since that was just the most recent match. Why don't you see if you could put together a match like that? Sure, they had the elements of using the tables or whatever, but it wasn't excessive. Or, just, or Gunther versus fucking Sheamus. They worked like workers. Hell, if you could just put on matches, I've always said that when you had Bayley versus Sasha, Charlotte versus Becky, when you see those matches, and mind you, it's going to take a lot for me to give credit to women's wrestling, because you have to work like a dude to put it over. Mercedes Martinez does that. Eva Lise does that. You have to put work in like a dude. Hell, as much as I don't really, like her thoughts and the way she, Jordan Grace, girl could work. I mean, I think this is just a way to get clickbait, and I don't know. You jeopardize your women's division just by doing it, because now you put them on that pedestal, and then what? I don't know. That's just that's just my opinion on that. But other than that, Friday Night SmackDown, we get Gunther versus Braun Strowman in a very good match, and I must say, Gunther made Strowman look really good. I'm pleasantly surprised at how Braun worked with Gunther. Very, very solid match. You still had the elements of Imperium interfering, helping out, trying to get Gunther the win, and Strowman having his element of doing his running choo-choo or whatever the case may be. But during the match, it was good to see that Gunther worked Strowman through the match. Shocking to say, it was really good. We got a Rey Mysterio promo discussing how his holidays was, and it was depressing because of how Dominic, and here we come with Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross comes in with the low-key Agent 47 look, and except with hair. And then we get the brawl and beatdown of Rey Mysterio by Karrion Kross. Is he going to be like the legend killer kind of thing? Is this what we're doing? And he's just going to start going through. After Rey, would Edge be next? We then get a Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez altercation in the back, which because Liv says she wants to come in at the Royal Rumble at number 1, and the girls were saying like, well, it's kind of stupid to do that, whatever. Raquel, makes it clear that she's the top of the mountain, and yeah, we get that. Bray Wyatt promo. Like I said, this better be a fucking payoff. Bray is leaving breadcrumbs to shit, but it's just taking fucking too long. Way too fucking long. Ugh. Owens and Sami Zayn have a conversation in which Sammy's questioning why Kevin is going at Roman. It's not necessary, and he needs to move on with himself. Blah, 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 blah. By the way, just to go back with the lift thing, is she trying to become a hardcore legend? With her pulling out tables and shit and all that? Is that what we're doing? Just asking. DeVille says she wants a match with Charlotte. She approaches Adam Pearce about it, and this led to an altercation between Charlotte and Sonya. And finally, we get Sami Zayn versus Owens in a match, which Owens wins by DQ because the bloodline interferes. And Sami was none too pleased by looking at it because this was something that he said he wanted to do because this was a mission given to him by Roman, and he didn't need their help. So that is leading to some very interesting things. So that's going to wrap up SmackDown and Around the Square Circle. When we come back, we're going to have Wrestling Rundown. And yeah, that was actually pretty smooth. I like the way that ran that. I might do this more. A little switcheroo of the segments. I like that. So guys, don't go anywhere. Stick around. We'll return. Take you guys in a sec.
Bring the in-ring action home to your tabletop with the #1 wrestling card game in the world, Super Show the Game, and live all your wildest wrestling fantasies without ever taking a chair shot. Available on supershowthegame.com. Order today and join a spectacle so grand it can only be called the Super Show.
All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is M2 Inc., and I am on the podcast of Turnbuckle Tabloid. How y'all doing today?
It's Wrestling Rundown with Jay Santy.
Live from New York, it's Turnbuckle Tabloid.
If you hear me, you're hearing the sounds of a happy man. As I mentioned earlier, I was listening and watching because I was juggling getting the show done and listening to the game and watching the game whenever I could. Watching the Giants versus the Vikings. And as of this recording, as of this segment right now, you are listening to a man whose Giants have won their playoff game. Thank you. Thank you. I know I've done so much for the team. Yes. I hate one of those guys that's just there. We won. No, they won. We just root for you. My Giants won. Yes. They're my Giants because I owned them. I can say that. I can't say we won because they're the ones that won. My team won. But, yeah, so the Giants are, going into the next round, divisional round to play the Philadelphia Eagles, which is a heated rivalry between the two cities. It's going to be tantalizing. It's going to be intense to say the least. So crossing fingers now just to see if the Cowboys lose. And I don't really hate the Cowboys. I just hate the fan base. The fucking fan base is just rabid. If you guys are Cowboy fans that listen to the show, thanks for listening. But your fan base is just, you guys are like AEW fans. They're just fucking rabid. Ugh. I will say that my favorite running back of all time is Emmitt Smith. Just to say. Barry Sanders is a close second. As always, I am the Norm McDonald of this segment, and this is your weekend updates, wrestling rundown. So, leading off this short week Wrestling Rundown. We spoke about it earlier, previous episode. Stephanie McMahon, she resigns. She steps away from the company and immediately goes into surgery. She had, I believe it was knee surgery, and she had that taken care of. As I mentioned before, I think it was done by design. As I adjust my mic, I think this was done by design, twofold. Number one, I think there was already some thoughts that she was going to go home after her father returns. There was already a game plan in place to say, once the smoke clears and your father's to be revealed not to be as much as a douche that he is, that he'll come back and you go home. And number two, I don't think that she wants to work with her father. I think there's some really ill feelings there. And her father is, although she loves him dearly, she knows how much of a fucking asshole that he is. And now, seeing the way that he's treating her husband, which I'll discuss more about it later on. But yeah, I think there's something there to that it holds some validity. Congratulations to Ricochet and Samantha Irvin, the wrestler and ring announcer, both on SmackDown, announced that their engagement. Oh, that's sweet. It is said that Sting is going to retire this year. On a podcast recently, Sting mentioned that he's had some great years in the business, and he never thought coming back to the business would be this fun, and believed that it was truly done, especially after his WWE run. But AEW brought him back and brought some life back into the business. But at his age, he'll be going into, I believe, 64. I think, yeah, it's time to call it quits. And so listen, I give it to him to pull it off at 64. Not many men could do that shit. Congratulations to Mickie James for winning her 11th championship with Impact. Mickie James was on a run in which her next loss will be her retirement loss. And so far, she's tearing it up. I have a feeling she'll be showing up again at the Royal Rumble wearing that belt. So we'll see. Santino Marella is in Impact Wrestling as the director of authority. He comes back with a name, likeness, with a little more scruffy beard, accent, and with a partner. Ernest the Cat Miller returns to wrestling as the assistant to the director of authority. Interesting. Also, we heard that Frankie Kazarian has made a full commitment with Impact, signing a contract with them, and had some harsh words to say about AEW as well, saying that he didn't feel comfortable in the back with a certain group of individuals, certain people back there, and Impact was his home. So, welcome back, Kazarian. Former WWE UK women's wrestler Jinny retires. I know everybody's like, who's that? She's known in Europe and in British promotions, Rev Pro and such, but made a short stint with WWE UK. And she's announced that although due to some injuries and such, she will be hanging up her fashionable boots and retiring. She's also known to be the girlfriend of the one known as Gunther. So, as we know, wrestling retirements don't fucking last long, right? We all know that, right? Oh, Uncle Dave. Seems as though Uncle Dave is under scrutiny. Dave Meltzer has been accused of reporting on news that doesn't exist. Seems as though that Uncle Dave has been accused of producing misleading information and not source checking. There was a news article, some news articles that's gone out about promotion known as Dragon Gate. I know of it. I don't really watch it. I see highlights and clips of it. I know of it. I know a lot of wrestlers who's gone through the promotion. In any case, that there was talk of a certain booker being there, and it goes to find out that it's not true. Someone who has said that they are an insider in the company has been leaking these stories or informations to Dave, and he's been sharing the stories on the Wrestling Observer without fact checking. I wonder how much other stories that he does that with. Interesting. And finally, Wrestling Rundown. I just wanted to briefly discuss, because I'm probably going to elaborate more on it on the next episode, but I just want to briefly discuss the talks of WWE being sold and the old man coming back and bullying his way, getting rid of 3 board members and inserting his 3 that he wants there, bringing 2 back that were fired by him, bringing them back, and then bringing another one who was fired and it's just a fucking mess. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because there's a stipulation that's being discussed about this company being sold, and that's being that although the company to be sold, he still wants to be involved within the company. He still wants to be involved with the company. Why? Why can't it be that you just there as a face? If you're going to be the face of the company, that's fine. It's like, I remember watching the movie Boomerang, and they had Lady Eloise for her cosmetic company. And I'm dating myself. That goes to show you how old I am. Referencing a 90s movie with Eddie Murphy. Great movie, by the way. And she was just the face of the company, when really it was the board and the fucking shareholders are the one that control the fucking company. She thought she was running it, but she really isn't. But this fucking egomaniac narcissist can't fucking let it go. Let it fucking go. But then wants to sit there and still be a part of the company and have his hands in the business aspects of it. And who the fuck knows? Like I said, stay the fuck away from creative. That's all I give a fuck about. Stay away from creative, you old shit. But I question why. Why do you want to still be involved? I still, in my mind, believe that he still wants to be around to prove a point. His point being is that the company didn't get better when he left. No. The fan base actually were missing him. That's why they were coming back in droves, because they were missing him. They were waiting for him to return. He never said this out loud, but he's a fucking egomaniac. He would think some shit like this. Creatively, the brand hasn't changed. No, there's nothing that's gravitating the audience more now these days. You can see the difference of creativity. For instance, do you see the Easter eggs that are being placed in the back during interviews or shots? You know, in the back you had seen when early on, before Dexter Loomis showed up, where there was a car accident and how did that happen? Or just recently you saw Adam Pearce and Adam Pearce, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin with Cedric Alexander. They were talking, so there was a look of possibly the Hurt Business coming back. This past week we saw Candice LeRae having a discussion and Nikki Cross was lurking behind. Like, those are just elements that Vince would never fucking do. Those are fucking Easter eggs. That's fun things that you have to catch. That's part of the fun. It's fun. It's fun viewing. Vince would never do that. Vince is all about fart jokes and people falling, stepping in dog shit, or having fucking feces fall from the top of an arena. Shit. Literally. Stay away from creative. Don't go to creative, please. But I really believe that he's not happy with the fact that his son-in-law is actually doing well. Looks like it's like that meme. Looks like you're having a good time in creative. Be too bad if somebody just went over there and took it away from you. Oh, fucking hate this old codger, man. Shit. And it's all these rich, white egomaniacs that have this fucking thought process. And there's a certain individual in the political forum who is still like this. Take your pick of who I'm thinking of. So, like I said, I'll discuss it more on the next episode, but this fucking guy, man. We can't have nice things. Somebody always got to come and fuck shit up. And it'll be the fucking two fucking horned devil known as Vince McMahon to come fuck shit up. Damn. All right, guys. That's going to wrap up Wrestling Rundown as well as Turnbuckle Tabloid. Thank you guys for partaking and listening and subscribing to the show. Be sure you check us out on all the social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, WhatsApp. I'm on WhatsApp. Check out the TBT community on WhatsApp. Check that out there. I put up the QR code there on the social media page, so you guys can check it out there. Also, make sure you download, subscribe, be a part of the vibe on all the podcasting outlets. Check out RageWorksNetwork.com as well as RageWorks.net. And just before I let you guys go, this has been a tricky fucking season when it comes to weather, man. Things are changing. 1 week it's blistering cold. The other week I'm going outside in a vest. I don't know how the fuck this is happening. This is occurring. Just as the weather changes, so do the people around you. So do, the environment and the, society that is around you. Do your homework, educate yourself, see how you could keep your finger on the pulse and, stay wise and stay in tune to what's going on. Shout out to my people, in my old neighborhood, in Williamsburg. Just a big shout out to them. We have a strip out there. It's our shopping district, but it's one we have held on to with pride for many, many years. And this goes out to all my Puerto Ricans, my Boricuas out there who, for 30 years, we had a street sign, dedicated to our homeland, which read Graham Avenue, Avenue of Puerto Rico. And this past week, DOT, the Department of Transportation, tried to take it down. This being because since our neighborhood has been gentrified or still going through gentrification or what have you, many of the new people were not happy of the fact that of being the Avenue of Puerto Rico, or the fact that the strip that we play music out of our record stores and such. So slowly but surely we're trying to change him. So this past week, the DOT went to take down the signs, and many of the people on social media went onto Instagram and Facebook and showed their disgust and protest. And the sign went back up 3 hours later. So who says that? With an apology from DOT saying it wasn't meant to go down. It was done by accident or whatever. Yeah, it was accidentally put down, but you had a sign already prepared for it to go up. Right. Shout out to all the people who did their protest through social media and were able to be heard and got that sign back up. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I am going to go fucking take a nap because it's been a long day and night, and hope you guys are resting too. And as always, love you guys. Check you guys later.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Turnbuckle Tabloid.